Okay, so is everyone ready? Let's begin. The title of my speech today is Water Therapy. When I say water therapy, I'm not referring to drinking 1.5 litres of cold water every morning, as water therapy can refer to. Instead, I'm talking about the health benefits that swimming in freezing water can bring, otherwise known as cold water swimming. Forget dipping your toe in the deep end. Many countries around the world are seeing intrepid swimmers of all ages plunge into ice-cold waters for a thrill that can feel as sharp as a dagger and that can also carry bragging rights that last all winter. This is the fun and frigid world of cold water swimming, and it's certainly not a new phenomenon. It's been around since time immemorial in the chilly climes of Russia and Finland. It's even said that the Romans practiced cold water swimming. They subjected their children to cold water dips to try and toughen them up. Even in the UK, we've seen cold water swimming since the 1800s, when people, well, the more intrepid among us, would try and swim across the freezing waters of the English Channel. Another example in London, at the Hampstead Heath bathing pond, which I myself go to on a regular basis, the water varies from 2 degrees to 24 degrees. I must say, just on a side note, that cold water swimming is defined when the water is under 20 degrees. So 24 degrees technically isn't actually cold water swimming, or considered cold water swimming, but it's still pretty cold. It's particularly, well, I particularly love going to Hampstead Heath bathing ponds because not only does it relieve you of the stress from living a life in London, but also you get to swim in this invigorating water surrounded by wildlife, often like herons, ducks, little ducklings. It's the key to a whole new world, I should say. So I'm going to look more specifically at the pros of cold water swimming. Why are people mad enough to do it? Apart from the camaraderie that cold water swimming or communal plunges kind of foster, there are numerous health benefits, both physical and mental. Let's look at the physical to begin with. On a kind of more anecdotally, Jilka Talferosa, who's 76, is a member of a cold water swimming club in the Czech Republic. She says that she has not gotten ill since she began cold water swimming. She states that her back pain has disappeared, she has better blood circulation, and it even helped to improve the healing of one of a broken bone she had. She also says that she hasn't had flu for over 25 years since she began swimming. And the research seems to back up all this anecdotal evidence, not just hers, but out of many others. Swimming normally, so not in cold water, is not a weight-bearing activity. So it's ideal for elderly people because it sort of likens itself to traditional aerobics, the effects it has on the body. Cold water swimming is unique in other ways, and it strengthens the body in unique ways, I should say. In February 2018, the BMJ, which is a medical association, published a study looking more specifically at a young man who was desperate for relief from chronic nerve pain. During the study, he was asked to swim for 1 minute in 4-degree water. And after swimming for 1 minute in 4-degree water, he reported that his pain immediately vanished. So after he emerged from the water, his pain vanished, and more importantly, it didn't return. It's believed, or the explanation that the scientists gave for this phenomenon, it was believed that the shock of the cold water, when he submerged himself, he was somehow disrupted the pain patterns in his body, which is a rather simplified version, but I'm willing to believe it. Not only is cold water swimming good on a physical level, but it's amazing the effect it has on a more for our mental health. I think it's often it's more it's interesting how we can look at mental illness, because we see the effects that things have on physical illness. It's much more tangible, essentially. So it's easier to quantifiably see the effects that something has physically rather than mentally. And I think it's interesting to see that cold water swimming has a particular effect on our mental health, namely depression. When we submerge ourselves in cold water, our bodies undergo a shock. So all our defences start going, like we're under attack, essentially. So this helps us in situations of stress. So it's interesting, because although our body's undergoing stress, it helps us deal with stress. For instance, when we're running for a train, someone who will swim on a regular basis is much more able to deal with small amounts of stress. For instance, running for a train, or just small things we come up against in our daily lives. Sorry, I missed a page out of my speech. That was rather an improvised bit. In conclusion, cold water swimming brings about, it helps us in many aspects of our life. It can change our lives. People who swim regularly report less illness, less stress, and they also report improvements in their overall happiness. So I implore you all to take the plunge and try it for yourselves. Thank you.